You tell yourself that when you don't have to work, or if you didn't have to go to school, or when you finally graduate, then you'll have time to do what you actually want to do. Then you can pursue the things you want and achieve what you actually want. Well, I've had that freedom. I spent 2.5 years with no job, no school, complete financial and time freedom to an extent. I could do what I wanted with my time, essentially. And when I first got that freedom, it was like, yeah, now I can do what I want. I got XYZ, 1, 2, 3, ABC. I got 10 different things I want to achieve. And so I started chasing all these different things that I thought I wanted, and I did want. But what I quickly came to realize was, yeah, we have a lot of time, and we think we have a lot of time, but in reality, it goes pretty quick, and your time fills up pretty fast. You got 24 hours in a day. Yeah, but when you incorporate how much you got to sleep, and the time it takes to eat, and the time it takes to exercise, and the time it takes to maintain other habits, and the time it takes to socialize and maintain social relationships, and the time it takes to shit and piss and drink water, you're not left with 24 hours anymore. Now you're left with, who knows, if you're really efficient, maybe 12 hours. If you spend a lot of time doing those things, you got maybe 6 hours. So pretty quickly, you go from 24 hours to, let's just say 8 hours. And now if you divide those 8 hours amongst 5 different goals, well, you got a little over an hour per day. And a lot of people will say that's all you need. And sure, if you want to commit, 5 years to something, you can get pretty good with an hour a day. But day to day, week to week, month to month, an hour a day, you're not going to really see much progress. In the beginning you will, but quickly you're going to plateau, and yeah, it's just not enough. And yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot with how much time I actually have to spend working towards my business goals and building my business. And when I started calculating where I'm spending a lot of my time, I'm not using social media. I don't waste my time on my phone. I don't really have addictions. I spend time on and waste time on, but I spend 10.5 hours a day sleeping, 10 at night, a 30-minute nap. Spend, I don't know, 2.5 hours most days exercising, including commute to the gym. I spend about 3 hours a day cooking, eating, and cleaning up. And yeah, so 10.5 plus 2.5 plus 3. There you go. Now I'm down to 8 hours. And then if you tack on all the commute trips it takes for me to go up to the library, come back, go here or there, I'm probably walking an hour. So there's 7 hours. And then you incorporate mindless things like going to the bathroom, getting a glass of water, probably another half an hour, 45 minutes. And yeah, we're down to 7 hours, 6 hours. And those are on days where I have no obligations outside of this, and that's not incorporating any social time. That's not incorporating recording these YouTube videos. So yeah, I'm down to probably 6 hours a day, maybe less, to work on my business. And that realization kind of pisses me off, And you hear Elon Musk say, if you want to win in business, it's pretty simple. You just outwork your competition. And I want to outwork my competition. So, I'm doing everything I should, or I believe I should be, up to this point, and I'm still getting outworked by a lot of people, most people, in fact. And I've got all these talents and skills and strategy, but I'm putting in way less time. And I don't like that. So, yeah, I guess I've been thinking more about diminishing returns and using your time viewing time as a resource and allocating your time very efficiently. And up until this point, I had seen things like sleep, nutrition, and exercise as I'm going to spend as much time necessary to get the maximum I can out of these different categories of life at this moment. So that means buying my own groceries, buying the top quality groceries, cooking all my meals, cleaning up after myself. That means sleeping the maximum amount of time I possibly can. That means going to the gym, warming up for 15 minutes, working out for an hour and a half, cooling down for 15 minutes. These things where I'm going to get the most out of these things, and that will propel me in business. And to some extent they will. My 6 hours that I work are pretty efficient, but I'm thinking of diminishing returns now. So how can I get the highest ROI per unit time from these things? And what's the absolute minimum I can be doing these things while still reaping a decent benefit? So I think, let's just take sleep for example. So I'm in bed for 10 hours a day. What would happen if I cut that down to 9? How much is that 1 hour difference really improving my work hour to hour? And maybe it's something like 5-10%. But how much is the extra 10 minutes then? Because it's not linear, Going from 6 to 8 hours, you're going to get a much higher return on your output than going from 8 to 10 hours. And I've been sleeping 10 just to maximize how much I can actually sleep and be in bed. And a lot of that time is not even asleep, but it's a buffer for when days that I'm really tired. I'll always be rested no matter what. And I'm kind of going away from that now. And I'm thinking of experimenting with just 9 hours a night. Getting an extra hour of work. There you go. From 6 to now we have 7 hours. Just gained a whole nother hour. And even if it's a 10% output increase, which I don't think it would be from 9 to 10, I'll get that back in my working time. So one where I think I can reclaim a lot more time is exercise. So instead of working out for 2.5 hours a day, including all things considered, dropping it down to 1 hour a day maximum. And that includes commute time. So weightlifting, including warm up and cool down, 45 minutes, 15-minute commute, 7 there, 7 back, 1 hour. There we go. So that's an hour and a half a day. If I'm working 6 days a week, 9 hours I just reclaimed from the week. So now reclaim 6 from sleep, 9 from exercising. And I still think I'm going to be an hour a day is plenty. It's enough. I'll get a lot of benefits, I'll decrease my output by a little bit, but I've just reclaimed so much time that it makes complete sense to. And finally, diet. So I'm spending an hour and a half cooking, eating, and cleaning per meal, and I eat 2 meals a day. So essentially I want to cut out that prep time and cleanup time, and that would save me 45 minutes per day per meal. So an hour to an hour and a half per day. So there's another 6 to 9 hours I can reclaim. So I'm going from 6 hours a day for 6 days a week, 36 hours. So now I just reclaimed 1 hour a day from sleep while still maintaining healthy amount of sleep. I reclaimed, 9 hours from the gym and exercising per day or per week. So now we're at 15, and 9 hours from eating, from cooking and cleaning. So 9, 18, and 6, 24 hours I just gained back from per week. So I went from 36 hours to now I can work 50 hours. And yeah, I just feel like that's a no-brainer if I really want to succeed in business, is cut down everything to the absolute minimum without going too extreme where it's going to actually impair my health to a significant degree. And I don't know how much an hour and a half. I mean, also I'm going to cut out the nap and replace it with 20-minute meditation. So reclaiming an hour a week. So 25 hours right there. And I want to commit to this this routine for, I'm thinking, a 3-week period. And see, I've got an Aura ring. I've got an 8 sleep mattress. I mean, I'm tracking my sleep. I've got health trackers. I want to see subjectively and objectively how big of a difference this really plays on my health, my subjective well-being, my recovery, and if it's really even a noticeable difference. Because if it's not a noticeable difference, then I just gained 25 hours a week, essentially almost doubling my total output in time towards this business. And if it doesn't make a noticeable difference subjectively, and objectively it's a slight difference, then wow, I just reclaimed 25 hours a week, 100 hours a month, 125 hours a month, depending on the amount of weeks. And I mean, I guess 28, 31 days, it's usually about 100 hours a week I just reclaimed. So almost 3 weeks I just gained every month. So I feel like I'm having some breakthroughs here where I'm not attached to this perfectionism around health, and I can feel free and okay to, cut off the fat, keep the massive amount of benefits, get 90% of the benefits, 95% of the benefits, 99% of the benefits with only 85% of the time, diminishing returns. And yeah, I want to see how it goes. And I've been kind of applying this principle to all aspects of life. And as soon as I'm making an income and a decent income, first steps are going to be hire a cleaner so I can remove as much time I'm spending on chores per week. Hire a laundry service so I don't spend any time doing laundry. Hire a personal trainer so I have to spend no time preparing workouts, thinking about plans, diagnosing myself. All streamline everything. And for now, I'll do the things that are affordable, and as soon as they're available, I'll do the things that cost money, so I can absolutely do as little as possible outside of my business. And that's how I think you'll guarantee success in business. I think it's pretty simple at the end of the day. Who succeeds at what they do and who beats the competition? It's who puts in the most work. And time is not always, you can waste time while working. You can do menial tasks that aren't important. You do this and that. But if you're committing, the majority of your life to things, you can only do that for so long before you start getting pissed off at yourself that you're not getting the results you should be getting. And you're also putting yourself into so many more chances for luck. You're putting yourself out there for way more opportunities, way more new insights. Even if each hour is only 95% as efficient as it could be if you were doing my routine now. It might be 5%, 10% less efficient hour to hour, but I've almost doubled my hours, so it's a no-brainer. You know, Elon Musk says it. You know, there's a quote by Drake that goes, "I made sacrifices. I've been balling ever since." And yeah, it's kind of like you chase 2 rabbits, you catch none. If I'm trying to chase this apex perfection of health and development, and I want to build like a perfectly aesthetic body and these things, I can do those things, but those should really be my only focus if that's what I really want. But if I want that, and I also want to build a massively successful business, and I want to outwork all my competition and no one's going to work harder than me, you can't have both. You know, we have a finite amount of time. And everything that's not in line with my priority, I feel I should burn in the sacrificial fire and let them go. Let go all those attachments that you have to have things, and I need this, I need that. I can't go backwards. I need to keep getting healthier and this and that. It's all limiting beliefs at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, success a lot of the times isn't about doing new things or adding more. It's about eliminating, minimalism, getting rid of everything that's adding friction, everything that's competing for your attention and time, and just getting rid of it. And yeah, you can set yourself up for massive success. So yeah, those are my thoughts right now on diminishing returns, health, output, reclaim time. And I want to run an experiment, so I'll keep an update when I start that experiment. Maybe I'll do a daily video on that, how that journey is going and how it's affecting my subjective feeling and how much extra work I'm actually accomplishing objectively. And yeah, so absolute minimum and everything besides business. And I believe that if I take this leap of faith and I step backwards in some sense in health, eventually this leap of faith will lead to way higher possibilities and potential and way healthier life. Where, I mean, if I had infinite money or I had a lot of money, I could have my own home gym and have a world-class personal trainer come to me, to my house, and I could have a world-class chef and have, you know, the top quality, highest quality food coming from the highest quality regenerative farms. And I could build a perfect sleep room and all these things that are out of my reach currently, but with money, they are possible. So yeah, it's like a leap of faith, but I think in the end, it's going to lead me actually where I want to be, even though it might not seem like I'm going in that direction. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If and when I start that experiment, I'll make a video on it and kind of lay out maybe my day-to-day, what my plan is. Still figuring out a few things and how I can save time. But once I feel like I've got a visible, practical day, I'll run that experiment and see what happens. So I'll talk to you guys later.